Today we have an ASHS legend, HortLegend. Today we are speaking with Dr. Hirst, and we have some wonderful HortLegend interview questions, and we'd love to hear from. So the first question that we have for you, Dr. Hirst, is what is your horticultural specialization, and what are the primary positions you have held?
Yeah, I started out as a technician and then got tired of doing someone else's experiments. So I wanted to do my own. So I went to graduate school. And for the last 25 years, I've been a professor of horticulture at Purdue University. And now I'm also associate director of international programs in agriculture. So I get to work a little bit in both those fields.
Wonderful. What has horticulture meant to your life and career?
Yeah, I guess let me start off. Let me back up a little bit. Why did I get into horticulture? You know, when I was at school, I was interested in science and especially the science of living things, so biology. And then biology separates into plants and animals. Well, animals have blood, and that wasn't for me. So I decided that plants were something worth doing. And for me, I wanted to do something sort of fun and scientific, but I also want to do something practical that had some application to the real world. And so I got into fruit and became a fruit scientist. And and for me, that's where I can do research. I can do stuff in the lab, but I can also do stuff in the field and talk with growers and hopefully translate some of my research results into real world applications and have an influence on the real world. And more lately, I've been becoming more involved in international programs. And to me, that's just been tremendously rewarding, where I can work with folks in developing countries and help them move forward. And these are folks that really need some help. And to play just a very small role in that is tremendously satisfying and rewarding.
Excellent. So that brings us to what do you consider to be the most rewarding part of your career in horticulture?
Yeah, I guess, you know, it seems like kind of corny to say it, but helping people. And whether it's farmers in Indiana, where I'm based, or in the greater United States or internationally, you know, to be able to do that is tremendously rewarding. Another thing that I find very rewarding is mentoring graduate students, whether my students or serving on committees for other students, and also mentoring junior faculty members um, to see their success and to see them become very successful and is just very rewarding. It's almost like being a parent in a way with a kid, and you see your kid do something good and you feel proud. And so I see graduate students or junior faculty members being successful, and it's just great to see them doing so well. And so I take pride in their accomplishments.
Fantastic. How long have you been a member of ASHS, and how has the society influenced your career?
Yeah, I joined ASHS as a graduate student 30 something years ago, and at the behest of my advisor, Dr. David Ferree at The Ohio State University. And Dave Ferree was a big supporter of ASHS. And I mean, he was a great scientist and an even better human being. And so he encouraged me to join and to become involved. And so I think with ASHS, it's easy to join and just sit in the background, but then you're not going to get that much out of it. To become really involved, be on a judging panel, review papers for the journals, publish in the journals, be involved in working groups. And so I've been chair of a couple of different working groups. I've been on the finance committee, been on a bunch of different committees, been on the board of directors. And so been quite involved in ASHS over the years. And I find the more involved I get, the more rewarding the experience. And so one of the things that I've really benefited from is getting to know my colleagues at other universities and other places around the United States and the world for that matter. And that started as a student. I got to meet students in other places, and we had things of mutual interest. And some of those people that I met as students, I still see at the meeting like earlier today, you know, 30 years later. And so these people that we network with tend to become lifelong friends. And not only friends, but colleagues that we discuss research with. Maybe we do a combined research project, write a grant together. And so that collaboration and networking is one of the great benefits of being involved with ASHS. But my advice to folks would be get involved. Don't just sit there on the sidelines. Be on committees, be on the judging committee for the best paper in fruit or ornamentals or whatever it might be. There's lots of opportunities to become involved. So get involved, and that not only helps the society, but it also helps yourself as you get to meet people in other areas.
Fantastic, thank you. Which is again segue perfect into the next question. And maybe you want to expand upon it, or maybe you already answered it. But what advice can you offer to students or young professionals in horticulture?
Yeah. I mean, get involved. Participate in, they have lightning talks for students. They have student competitions. They have student networking things. Get involved and go to those. It takes a little bit of activation energy to do it, but what you'll get out of it is going to be much greater because of that. And so get involved in these different things. Be a reviewer for the papers in the journals. One of the things that my graduate advisor, Dr. Fareed, told me, he said that as you review other people's papers or proposals, it helps you be a better writer yourself. And I think he was exactly right. And so be a reviewer of other people's papers. And as you do that, if you're anything like me, you'll read them and you're like, oh, that's not really clear. Oh, note to self, when I'm writing a paper, make sure I do a good job with doing this, this, and this. And so it's another one of those things where being of service is also of personal benefit. Life is kind of like that, I think. And so get involved in the society, and there's many different opportunities for doing that.
Fantastic. Last question. What excites you most about the future of the horticultural industry and profession?
Oh, I think there are tremendous opportunities for horticulture. I see it at home here in the US, where there's a renewed interest in local foods and very healthy foods, in people looking for more natural foods that didn't come in a cardboard box. And so there's renewed interest from a food point of view, but also from an ornamental point of view, people wanting to reconnect with nature. Well, we have a big role to play there. In the international sphere, I see horticulture as being pivotal, in that many developing countries, people have little access to land. Maybe they don't have land tenure, so you can use the land, but you don't own the land. Well, horticultural crops, many crops you can grow for a short term on a small area. They're high value, they're very nutrient dense, and so they're something that people can grow and benefit from. So I think horticultural crops just have tremendous benefit, both in the United States and around the world.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Hirst. Your passion and enthusiasm is absolutely stunning. Thank you for being willing to be interviewed here for HortLegends with ASHS.
Great. Thank you very much.